Good morning. I am back. This is one more. Again, we'll just wait for YouTube to click in, and we are live. So, good morning, everybody. Donnie Rouse here again, and this one is called You Do You. This podcast came from a conversation I had with my friend Maritza, but also came from all these questions I had been asking myself about what do I want? Right? How often do you ask yourself, what do you want? More likely than not, you're asking yourself, well, what do I want, but what's going to make everybody else happy and no one no one upset with me? So this one is called You Do You. Hi guys, my name is Donnie Rouse and you are listening to the podcast One Life. You do you. When you are making decisions regarding your life or even your daily choices, what are you taking into account? Is it purely what it is you want? Or are you taking into account what others may think or how others may respond if you go for what you want? I believe that one of the reasons why we hold back is because we're afraid of what others may say, or we're afraid if we may take too much. But as I am learning, and through the experiences I'll share with you in this episode here, you'll realize that that is the only way to go on living your day and to go living your life. So let's understand, like, who or what is influencing our decisions on a day-to-day basis, right? Think of the life you want to live, your ideal life. What is influencing that? And what is the cost of that influence, right? Meaning the cost is you not having the thing that you want. And then let's throw one more question in there. Imagine that you've done the thing that you wanted to do. Looking back at what you were worrying about, do you even care? Right? A lot of things, we make these things important and we build these stories in our head as to why we shouldn't go after the thing that we want. When one, most of it is just made up in our minds. And two, if anyone does get mad, then who the hell cares? I was talking with my friend Maritza. We were in the city and we were having some pizza and I think, I don't know if I had an alcoholic drink, but it doesn't matter. So we were having some pizza. I was with my sister and she was sharing a story about, I think it was a dentist she was going to. And this guy was very, very renowned in his area of business, in his specialty. When she was in his doctor's office, she knew that he was very fond of her. They would always have conversations. She asked him, say, hey, I'm really interested in, in learning more about your business and how you did it. Do you have a few minutes? And he said something very, very bluntly saying, no, I don't. Or no, I can't do that. Followed by, well, I'm working on X, Y, and Z. And then just left it at that. And upon first hearing this, I'm not sure if it was in her head. Maybe it probably was. She probably was going, wow, that was kind of cold. But was it really? Or was he just making time and saying, listen, this is what I'm focusing on. This is what I want to create. And I am not going to allow anything else to deter me from that in which I am after. After thinking about it for some time, she realized it was the latter. She realized, well, yeah, I know he's very fond of me and that, he likes me. So I can't take offense to this, but rather I have to appreciate how he was so respectful of his own time and how he was using his time to go in the direction he wanted to, build what he wanted to build. She later reflected on her own time and her own experiences of, I think it was like the last week, and how like she had given some time where it didn't feel good. It didn't feel fulfilling. And maybe it was just, it was giving the time to things that weren't moving her along her path. Now, I know Maritza very well. She's extremely she's an amazing individual. She's very talented at what she does, building confidence and getting people to clarify their message in business. And, I know what her goals are as well. And she's not the only one doing this, right? Like right here. Like I am guilty of it as well. But I've become very, very conscious now as a result. I mean, I like when I get these lessons in life, it's like they all literally compound at the same time around the same message. And the message lately has been like, well, what do you want? Isolate, go after what you want, and cut out everything else. So she was evaluating how she was living her life and realizing that she was putting her time in places that maybe weren't serving her in the sense that they were taking her away from what she was creating, what she wanted to create. How often do you do that? To give you an example from my own life, I would always, I knew what I would want, right? I know what I want. But then I never would go, not never. Often I would not go towards it because I'm like, well, yeah, that's what I want, but what will this person think? Will they be mad at me because if I achieve X? Or will they be upset because I have more? Well, whatever. It was always, what would other people think? And I started becoming aware of this and started to realize to value my own time and how my time is the only one of the biggest resources I have to move my life in the direction I want it to go. Armed with this new revelation, I had a couple experiences. I was at the gym, and there was someone who came up to me, and he could literally hold a conversation for a while. And often I would be like, you know what? I feel bad. I'm just going to take the conversation however long it may take. Yesterday, he came up to me, and with this in mind, he started the conversation. I was in the middle of my workout, so I said, we're talking. He was telling me what his workout was. I told him, I said, listen, that's great. You shouldn't rest too long between your sets. And I continued along my way, and I just continued my workout. And I was very proud of myself because that was the second time yesterday that I caught myself doing that, and I stepped up and took my time back. And these are just small examples, right? These are small examples with people, like asking me something or just trying to maybe, with all sincerity, they were just being kind, right? And maybe I've entertained them in the past, so maybe I've supported that habit. But now I'm saying, well, no, this is the time I have. I can't put the time, I'm focused on this. Now let's think about the times we do that, not so much just in those momentary interactions, but let's think about the things you take on, right? Does someone ask you, hey, John, can you do this? You're like, well, yeah, sure. Yeah, totally. I'd be more than happy to do it. And you start to take on all these things. And all as a result, you realize that you're not really getting the benefit, but more than anything, you just feel watered down. Right? And then as a result of having these things, you don't even know what balls are in the air. Have you ever been there? I know I have. Nothing gets completed. You don't see the result from anything you don't complete. So it's a matter of taking one ball at a time, focusing on that ball. Say, well, do I need to keep juggling this ball? If yes, take it, complete it. If not, throw it away. Get it out of the mix so you don't have to have extra concentration with all those other balls in the air. Like, what is it easier to do? Is it easier to juggle with 10 balls in the air, or is it easier to juggle with 3? Right? You know it's 3. So then why do you do that to yourself? And why am I even touting all this, right? Why is this important? Because your outcomes, your dreams, everything revolves around you making you're taking your most precious resource and leveraging it. Your most precious resource is time. Valuing your time. I mean, you can be home spending your time in a bunch of other ways, like watching a Netflix series. right? We've been there. It's kind of the same thing. Realizing that, listen, everyone is trying to get your time, trying to get your attention to fulfill their own needs, to say, hey, come over here and do this. Now, that's okay as long as it's beneficial, as long as it's done in integrity, and as long as it's beneficial to moving your life forward in the direction you want to go. Awesome. When it's done out of fear, when it's done to literally distract you and to put you in a different state, then that's when you have to be really, really be conscious and aware of what it is that's grabbing your attention. So what, in a nutshell, I think if I had to tell you this in like put it in a term saying your primary goal or your primary job is to do what makes you happy, is to do what's good for you. You don't have to worry about anybody else. Nobody else. That might be triggering. There's a saying in when you're in negotiating. There's a saying they say, "I want you to win, but I want to win more." Depending on the negotiation tactic, depending on who you're negotiating with and the relationship, yes, you have to have mutual. It has to benefit both people, both parties. But you always want to benefit more. So again, it's all about you. It's all about doing what you want. It's all about doing what is good for you. Now, with that, I'll leave a caveat. It's all about doing what you want, so long as it's that it's good for you. It's not destructive. 2, that it's good for other people in the sense that it's not harming anybody. And 3, that it's good for the greater good. I mean, you're not damaging the environment and doing all this stuff. Then move full steam ahead on what you desire. Yes, your parents, your friends, some people might get mad because you're choosing to spend your time differently. But it doesn't matter, right? You can say, well, does that mean that it's not good for them? No, it does not. It means that they need to worry about themselves. Focus on yourself. Focus on the things that bring you joy. Focus on the life that you want to build. That is the only thing you have to worry about, because I promise, I'll emphasize that even more. That when you're doing that, all, the family who said, oh, no, you shouldn't do that, they'll come around. Everyone will come around, right? Because they'll see the joy. You will become a magnet of the frequency in which you are putting out. The people who don't match that frequency are going to fall away, and you're not going to care the least. Your family, you're always got them, right? But even they will come around. So again, your primary job, your primary focus is to make yourself happy. No one else can do that for you. If it involves traveling the world and doing all these sorts of awesome things, kudos. Because you do only get one life. This is not a dress rehearsal. You only get one life. So go after, do the things you want to do. Be all that you can be. That is it. I'm off my soapbox. So I hope you, again, this was more of just something that was like welling up inside from an experience I had. And I wanted to share with you because I know it is very, very valuable. If you enjoyed this podcast, please consider subscribing, sharing it with a friend who you know needs to hear it. And if you have any questions or comments, you can send them to me via my website at www.donnyrouse.com, DonnyRaus.com. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate your time and attention. I hope this in some way enriched your life and that it connected you to your core, your true self. Maybe ignited a little fire for you to start living the life that you were meant to live. Because remember, you only get one life. Live it. God bless, and I will see you again soon.